So, SC Linux and recent trends. This section deals with how the access control of the SC Linux is evolved. We know that there are many access control methodologies like the discretionary access control, mandatory access control, role-based access control, etc. And from the beginning itself, most of the operating systems started supporting discretionary access control. But discretionary access control had its own flaws, like that is not supported confidentiality or integrity up to a level, and there were chances like uh, the security was provided by the application, but the operating system was found to be ignoring the security provided when we were making use of the discretionary access control. So overcoming all such kind of flaws made by the discretionary access control, and to enable more confidentiality and integrity requirements, we put forward the mandatory access control. And we know that mandatory access control made use of multi-level security, and they focused mainly on the security levels of subject and object. That is, they focused on the clearance level of subjects and the sensitivity level of the objects. But the fact was that in highly complex world of internet, where web access and code downloads are commonplace, identity based access control was insufficient. So which we were thinking about much more better access control methodologies. So the points to be noted, or the most important things to be concentrated, was the source of the program being executed by the user, or the current role of the user was to be concentrated more. So, and the let's talk about the access control of the SE Linux. Access control of SE Linux is based on principle of least privilege. It means that if an application is given rights and privileges to commensurate with a job at hand, the application will not automatically inherit the rights and privileges from the user on behalf of which the application is being run, but the application is to be given with the rights and privileges. This is what is meant by principle of least privilege. And SC Linux incorporated with two important access control models, that are type enforcement and role-based access control. And one of the motivations for the SC Linux to incorporate with the type enforcement access control is that it is the realization that if a single application compromised, then it may spread that infection and compromise the entire system. So to avoid such kind of situations, the SE Linux realized to come up with type enforcement. That is, the option was to provide or to confine an application with a single domain, restricting what the application can do. So that SE Linux provides an application a particular domain, and they restrict the things that they are, or the operations that the application can do to within the domain. And then about the type enforcement. Type enforcement is a successor of the earlier model domain and type enforcement, that is DTE. And it is proposed as a substitute for multi-level security. That domain and type enforcement was proposed as a substitute for multi-level security. And we're talking about domain and type enforcement. Each subject is assigned with a domain, and each object is assigned with a type. So each subject was assigned with a domain and object was assigned with a type. The security policies decides the access permission between which domain and each type. The policy can be conveniently represented in an access matrix. That is, the security policy was decided by the permissions between the domain and the type. That is, the subject and the object decided the security policy, and each subject was having a domain and object was having a type. And obviously, the security policy was represented in an access matrix. We know the use of the access matrix. Access matrix can be used to represent the security policy by giving the subject in the rows and objects in the columns, so that the ith row and jth column can give you the permissions that the subject is having on the particular object. So while implementing the access metrics to explain about the security policy given by domain and type enforcement, we know we concentrate subject in the form of the domain in which it is present, and we concentrate on the object in the form of type. So the access matrix will represent domains in rows and types in columns. So the ith row and jth column of the access matrix will give the permissions that a subject in domain I has over object of type J. The In case of the SE Linux, all the objects are the processors, files, directories, etc., and they are assigned with a particular type. You know that. And in addition to type enforcement, we make use of role-based access control. That is, SE Linux incorporates also role-based access control. And what does it does is that is employed so that the security policy may be more easily specified and managed. And obviously, with role-based access control, they will assign multiple roles. And in case of SE Linux, only a single role is active at any point of time. So the RBAC is incorporated by SE Linux, and they provide roles. They assign multiple roles, but only a single role is active at a particular point of time. SE Linux also make use of system-wide security policy rather than configuration of the application. So how they represent security policy is that the security policy is distilled into set of rules, and the rules are expressed in a declarative language and are stored in configuration files. So SE Linux also incorporates system-wide security policy, and the security policy is represented in the form of rules. And the security policy is distilled into set of rules and expressed using a declarative language, and they are stored in configuration files. And some of the points here explains what does the rule specify. The rule specifies such things like which users are associated with each roles and which types are associated with which roles, which domain can access which resource type, and the permissible operation. We know the domain is a term associated with the subject, so it means that the which subjects are capable of accessing the resource types, that are the objects, and the permissible operations, and how with what all permissions the subjects can access the object. In the same way, in SC Linux, when we say that, it is which domains can access which resource type and the permissible operation, and transition of the processes between the domains upon executing program in certain types. These are what the rules specify, and there is a format for the rule. Generally, the rules appear in this format. That is, allow type 1, type 2, class of R1 to Rn. Here, type 1 is actually a subject, and type 2 they meant about the resource. That is, by this rule, what they mean is that allow the subject type 1 to access the resources of type 2, and within the class they specify the permissible operations or the permissions. So this is an example of the rule. Allow grades T, stores T, file of read and write. That is, with this rule, the subject grades T is allowed to access the resources of scores T, and the resource is a file, and the operations which are permitted are read and write. Also, the SC Linux is labeled with a security context, which is a triple of three attributes. This is the security context, and it consists of user ID, role, and type. all about SE Linux. Thank you.